Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we're going to talk about Star Wars. We're going to talk about Star Wars and Fox. But we're not going to talk about the part that everybody's talking about, although it is funny and I will mention it. I want to talk about something else because while not as entertaining, it is probably more important. It's a more important concept to grasp. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, the next Star Wars movie will be directed by a woman who has a history of making documentaries that are woke, for lack of a better word, feminist documentaries. And at some point, she said something to the effect of, I like to make men feel uncomfortable. Okay? Of course, Fox has a problem with this. Star Wars has gone woke and it's going to be a big flop because of this. And, my kids won't watch it and whatever. And towards the end of the segment, one of them, I am not joking, says, I don't watch Star Wars because, it's woke and everything. That's why I'm a Trekkie. Famously unwoke Star Trek, the show that does social commentary in pretty much every episode ever. And that is definitely the part of this that is getting the most commentary, is that comment. But I want to talk about making men feel uncomfortable because I had an issue with that too. Science fiction is supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. Good science fiction will make you feel uncomfortable, but one of the great things about science fiction is that you can pull problems that exist right now, put them into another context, and talk about them openly, and maybe people will get the point. If you were alive back when the first Star Wars movies came out, and you didn't say, wait a second, are we the Empire? You missed the point. It's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. Good science fiction makes you feel uncomfortable. It allows you to examine the problems that exist in society right now by putting them in another world, by putting them in this other context where it's free of all of the biases that exist. Because you don't have a nationalistic view of the empire. You don't have all of the propaganda of your entire life weighing you down. You get to examine the dynamics free from the bias, kind of like Country Red and Country Blue. It allows you to see it more clearly. And if the person telling the story does their job right, you're supposed to feel uncomfortable because it should be identifying something that is wrong in society. It's one of the greatest things about science fiction. And you can go through pretty much any great piece of science fiction and you will find this to be true. It's examining not just lasers and spacecraft. It's examining an issue that humanity really hasn't come to terms with yet. Avatar obviously had subtext. Almost every episode of Star Trek, the unwoke show with the trans character 30 years ago, it's all there. When you look at even if you take it out of the space type of science fiction, if you were to look at Fahrenheit 451, there's a lot of people right now that should read that and feel uncomfortable. Science fiction is supposed to upset you. It's supposed to draw your attention to something that you may not recognize it immediately, but you're supposed to be uncomfortable with some of the dynamics. And then maybe you can draw the parallel to what's happening in the real world. So somebody who enjoys making people feel uncomfortable with their work, yeah, that's who should be running science fiction shows. because that's what they should be doing. Otherwise, it's just another action movie. You need the actual lesson. You need the moral. You need the moment where the grizzled warrior grabs their friend and says, Curzon, let's Jadzia now. Jadzia, whatever. You need that moment. If you don't have it, it doesn't do well. I mean, maybe it's commercially successful, but that's not really what it's supposed to be about, right? In fact, I think there's science fiction stuff about that too. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.